Hello Shamus, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be profiling the best Drytron deck profile of the February 2021 format. I believe this is the best list that is out there for this deck. Yeah, it's super consistent, and this deck really performs extremely well. Yeah, this deck is just fantastic, so let's get right into it. First, we start with 3 Alpha Thubin. This card is the best card in the deck. It starts as a ritual monster, and it just gives you a free body as every other one does. It's just a fantastic card. It's really good. And it provides you the utility that you really need. Yeah, really solid card. Next one, we have a Zeta Altiba. This card is fantastic. It's just a ritual spell. Mediona's Drytron. This card's fantastic. This card plus Ben 10 can end on a Vanity's Ruler or Ultimateness, depending on what you want to end on. Yeah, this card's fantastic. And it has the same benefits as Alpha Thubin, and it's really good. Also, they all tribute for cost, so yeah, they do have their own double-edged sword in that sense, but they are really solid in that they can just give you a free body, and Ben 10 triggers off tributing, which is the main utility of this deck. Next, we go for double Delta Alteus. This card is fantastic as well. This card tributes a Drytron or Ritual, and then you can draw one card by revealing a ritual spell or ritual monster. This card is basically just an extender, and basically a free +1. So yeah, really good card. I do like to. It can be cut down to 1. Yeah, but really solid card. In general. And then next, for a 1-0, you run 1 Gamma Eltonin and 1 Rastaban. This card is, I'm just going to start with Rastaban. Beta Rastaban is extremely cuttable. What this guy does is it special summons one of your banished Drytron cards. Or sorry, adds it back to hand. So special summons itself, adds back a Drytron monster from to the graveyard. The only time you'll ever resolve this is if you already have Mediona's Draconis. This card, when it's summoned, it has to banish 2, or banish 1 or 2 to pop up to 2 face-up cards on the fields. So basically, using the utility of Rastaban, you're gonna have the ability to send them back to grave and have more utility. This card is really colorable. I just use it because it is another name, and late game it does come up. And then Gamma Eltonin, this is usually the card that you're going for third. If you're going for like a line of play, you're gonna go 1 Alpha to Zeta, so or 1 Zeta to Alpha, usually 1 or 2, and then the third copy is usually gonna be Gamma, because this card summons a monster back, which is you're usually gonna need that extra monster to either make Ultimateness or Ruler, or even both. But yes, so this one's really solid. It special summons a Drytron from grave, and it's just really good. And it also has to be 2000 attack. You should know that. Really important to know that. Next to the Fairy Engine, or the whole Ben 10 package, I run triple orange light, 1 purple light, and 1 green light. No one's running green light right now. The only reason I'm running green light is because Eva requires you to search 2 with different names. So I want this card to be active even past turn 1. So having the ability to search 1, 2, turn 1, and then turn 2, you can search orange and green. It's just really good. And yeah, this card's actually pretty solid. If you're playing against any rogue deck, spells are still going to be huge. And there are rogue decks, like people do run rogue decks just to simply beat your deck. It also helps you stop Mystic Mine, which is a real pain in the ass for this deck. But yeah, green light is very good in the rogue matchups, and I do run it just because it gives you another target. Double Eva, this card is really good. You can run one or two. I just like two because it gives you another searchable target from Ben 10 to give you more negates on ultimateness. But yeah, this card is really good. You equip it to Union Carrier, and you just go from there. It's just really, really good. The next we run the double lance in the main. It is searchable, and so if you're playing this virtual world, you can guarantee a search of Lancia and just end their turn. If they're pretty behind. Yeah, Lancia is really good because searchable. Vanity's Ruler, this card's fantastic still. I still think this is the correct card to run. I think it's actually correct to run both of them, Ultimateness and Ruler. People are cutting Ruler to run Ultimateness, but the ability to set up Ruler and then Ultimateness with 3 negates on it, 3 Omnis, is super huge. So yeah, so I definitely like running the Ruler. It's very important. Then the one Dawn Knight. Dawn Knight's obviously just a target for Union Carrier. It's a really good card. Sent to Grave. You basically just dump any Drytron you need, or Eva. You can even equip Eva, but you can just dump any utility you need to the grave. Then we're running one Drytron Medionis Draconis. This card's also pretty good. It basically allows you to deal a lot of damage in a short period of time, and it does serve as a mini pseudo interruption against some decks. But yeah, it is really, really solid. I do really like this card. Next one, Herald of Ultimateness. This card is fantastic. This card is busted. This card is something else. If there's occasions where you can set up this card with 5 or even 6 fairies in your hand. It's very difficult to do with very certain hands, but it does happen. And when it does happen, your opponent just scoops because of how difficult it is to out this card, just due to the fact that it also negates special summons. It's not just the spell trap monster that is huge, but also that it negates special summons is huge. You can't just like Pancratops or have some sort of other out to the card. Especially if you back this up, Ultimateness with Vanities, it's nearly impossible to out unless they exhaust all your negates in hand and have a Mystic Mine or something like that. But yeah, very difficult to out this card. And then next, with the best engine in the deck is Cyber Angel Ben 10 and Cyber Angel Natasha. We run 3 Ben 10, 1 Natasha. It's very standard. Ben 10, you're using 2 to 3 every single game, mostly in turn 1. Because it does trigger off of the Drytron Tribute. So if you tribute it, you get to search from Ben 10, and then you get to use the effect of the Drytron card when it's summoned. So this card's really busted, searching any card from Orange Light to Vanity's Ruler. This whole row it can search. It can also search out Ultimateness. It can search out Natasha. It can even search out itself, which is really, really important sometimes. And yeah, Natasha, after you ritual summon it, you gain life points. You link it off into a Boral Sword or something, summon it back, take control of the monster, gain more life points. You can link it off, do that again, and keep doing that. You can loop it by banishing 3 Bentens. So if you have 3 Bentens in the grave and a Natasha that's ritual summoned, you can steal 3 of your opponent's monsters and gain a whole lot of life points, playing super well into time. Then for the spells, we run triple Drytron Nova, the best spell in the deck, the best extender. It just gets you into any Drytron you need. Then triple Drytron Fafnir. Obviously this card is fantastic. Searches out Drytron Nova or Drytron Medionis Drytron. So really, really good. And obviously the one Medionis Drytron. This card is going to be looped 2 times guaranteed, and 3 times if you have a prep, 4 times if you have a second prep, and 5 times if you have a third prep, just looping Ben 10 summons. So yeah, really good card. You're usually going to use Medionis on your Union Carrier with Dawn Knight equipped to summon Ben 10, and then you just go from your combo from there by sending Gamma, and then you do your little shenanigans. But yeah, so let me go with 3 prep. Preparation of Rites is a fantastic card. People are cutting it, but I personally think this is still a really good card that should be run in the deck. Searcher Ben 10, Searcher Natasha, and then if you have the Medionis Engrave, you could just get the free plus off of it. And then lastly, also like the hard search for the deck is Cyber Emergency. This card is so specific, and it works for the deck, so it just acts as such a busted card. It's really, really good. And the fact that it's like unnegatable practically, because you just get to activate it again if they negate the activation, is really, really good. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. I think this list is very solid. If there were cards to cut, it would probably be one Eva, one Herald of Greenlight, but I like having that wiggle room. If you were to cut these, maybe main deck back row removal or something like that if your locals is filled with it. But yeah, so onto the extra deck. I am running Herald of Mirage Light, one copy of this card, because if you just want to set up one Mirage Light, one Vanity's Ruler with like 3 of these dudes in your hand, you can just activate this once and then pitch the other 2 to negate, setting up a pretty strong board. And this card's second effect is also really bonkers. You can add up 2 band 10s to hand when it's sent to grave by opponent's card effect. It does so much, and it helps a lot with the value of the deck. Next we go Union Carrier is one of the main comp pieces, and also if you're playing against Drytron, one of the best cards to hit, because if they make this card, they're usually not going to be able to play too much through it if you negate this card. Sometimes it even stops them completely. If you have a Gamma and you Gamma the Union Carrier, it's pretty much turn over unless they have a really ridiculous hand. Next one, Access Code and one Boral Sword. These are your win cons to the deck, OTK. I love these cards in the deck. I think Access Code is still super mandatory. If you don't have access to it, just make sure that you do run the Boral Sword, because you need that OTK factor. This deck isn't actually inherently good with the cards that it is in its archetype at OTK. Next we have one Phoenix, one Unicorn. One Phoenix and Unicorn, these two are really great. They're just standard in most decks right now. For the level 1 Sands, we grab one Anima, one Link Rebo. Anima, obviously, one of the best cards in the deck right now. Baits negates, and even if they don't have that negate, they just steal their cards. The amount of times I've stolen someone's UCT with this card is ridiculous, because they'll leave it under their zone for Pentastag. If you can if they don't OTK you that turn and you out that Pentastag, you just take their Conductor and attack them for a lot of damage. And yeah, so this card's really good. Link Rebo also, really good card. Usually what you're making if you just have a Nova and you need to get one of your Drytrons engraved. So, next we run one Geonator. This card is basically like a Link 2 of Anima, just a little bit worse, but since you're playing Drytron, everything activates engrave, so it's not that bad. Like, this card is really useful if you have a card you need to out. Next one, run Appaloosa. In the mirror match, this card is fantastic. Against Virtual World, it's okay. So yeah, if you have the resource to make it with like a Vanity's Ruler, it is pretty impactful. But I'd still usually rather go for the ultimateness. Yeah, I think it's much better in my opinion. Next one, Cross Sheep. This card doesn't come up too much, but if it does, you just get that free draw to discard to. Yeah, there is a lot of room in the extra deck, so it is whatever you like, really. Next to the expertise, we run one Zeus. This card's fantastic. And to stack it up, you run the one Nightingale and the one Kikanagashi Fucho. This card's also really good. You're summoning Nightingale more because you're usually going to want to attack directly, then throw Zeus on top, blow up their board. Or you attack directly, throw a Downerd, and then Zeus. And yeah, last card we run Downerd. I think this card's still fantastic. This card's really good just because you can stack up Zeus to have 4 materials, which is really, really good. Yeah, that's it for the extra deck. It's pretty standard, other than like maybe Cross Sheep. Not too many people are running it. I just personally like it. And a lot of people are cutting Downerd. I still like the card. I still think it's solid. Yeah, for the side deck, this is just this can be whatever. You want to run droplets, you can run them. You want to run tactics, you can run it. Any card, if you feel like it has to be in the side deck, or you feel a need for it to be in the side deck, you can run it, because it is really flexible. And yeah, so right when I'm running, I'm just running the one Lance here, triple Droll, triple Cyclone in case of Elec, triple Lightning Storm. I think it's still a solid card. The Feather Duster is a blow card. The Red Reboot against Altergeist or anything like that, any weird decks like that, just blow up. And then the triple Nib. This card's still solid. It does its job. Yeah, this is really it for the deck profile. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.